Hi, welcome to Wise Guys. Troubleshooting. When you perform scientific calculate, sometimes you have a problem. It shows you syntax error, or sometimes you got the number is not you predict. So let's show you some examples. For example, you are doing a physics question. You calculate the force between two charges. Say the F equals is 8.99 times 10 to the negative 9 exponent. The charge you given one is 2.0 times 10 to the negative 9, and the other is 3.0 times 10 to the negative 9. The distance between these two charges is 0.02 meter, which you put a square. So calculate this one using calculate. And you do 8.99 times 10 to the negative 9. You can use the EXP button. Exponent, 9 exponent, multiply 2.0 exponent negative 9 multiply 3.0 exponent negative 9, then divided by 0.02 square, right? Everything you did right. When you hit the equal sign, you got the 0.000. Then you check several times, you still got the 0. This is the trouble. You have trouble that you don't know how to fix it. Actually, you can see the reason from screen. You have 0.000, which is you previously fixed with decimal place, 3 decimal place. But now this calculation, because wait a second, this is actually the positive, right? I also enter 8.99 exponent 9 exponent. The constant is positive 9 exponent. So if from this way you can predict it's not the 0. Even the number is small, you will get the negative exponent. Why they give you 0? The reason is you previously set fixed the 3 decimal places. The number is smaller than this one. If the number is smaller than this one, for example, you have negative 5 exponent or negative 4 exponent, of course they doesn't show on the screen, right? That's why what you need to do every time you need to find this problem, you need to look at the top of screen to see what is displayed on the top. In this case, on the top you find there is fixed small letter, which is previously fixed with 3 decimal place, because you want to calculate, do round up for you, but now it didn't do reset. So what you need to do, you do reset. You do shift CLR 3, reset all, equal, okay? Then you re-enter this number. You have 8.99 exponent 9 exponent multiply 2.0 exponent negative 9 times 3.0 exponent negative 9, then divided by 0.02 square. You got the answer is 1.3485 times 10 to the negative 4. The reason is, this is scientific notation, if you write down decimal, you have, this is actually equals 0.000123413.485. The number answer is this one. right? Because 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, actually, no, this 0. Yeah, actually 0.00013485. Previously, you set the 3 decimal place. At this point, the number is 0. Of course, it's 0, right? That's why you need to say reset before you using your calculate. You reset, and so that is mostly you don't have any problem. Okay. This is one trouble. First one. Second one, when you calculate, for example, you calculate one expression, you have the number is you calculate 2.8 times 10 to the negative 7 multiply 4.5 divided by 9.2 times 10 to the negative 5. You calculate this expression, you do this way. You have 2.8 using times 10 to this button to the negative 7, which you use this button, and multiply 4.5, because you just enter all this one divided by 9.2 multiply 10 to exponent negative 5. You got the answer is 1.37 if you keep 2 decimal places times 10 to the negative 12. Because when you do this job, you don't realize you make mistake because you use calculator. You didn't predict the answer. You just let calculator do the job for you. So you got this answer. Later on, you got the wrong. Then you confused. You say, okay, I do exactly same with the expression. Why I got wrong? Something wrong is with this button, this one, because you do, okay, on your calculator you do 2.8 times 10 to the negative 7 multiplied 4.5 divided by 9.2 times 10 to the negative 5, right? You do this one. You enter all this one and do this one. Then actually, if you divide this one, calculate, do this one. They follow bad math. You do multiplication, do this one first, do this one first, and do this one second, and then do this one third step, then do this one fourth step. When you do division 9.2, after this one, then they multiply 10 to the negative 5. Then multiply. This is the problem because the previous 3 steps no problem because this is on the top. It's all multiplication and divided 9.2 also right, but the problem here because 10 to the negative 5 on the bottom supposed to be divided by the top number, but when you do this one, after done divided 9.2, they multiply 10 to the negative 5. That's the wrong. How to figure out this question? You need to be careful because this is all on the bottom. When you enter this one, you should put this one here. You should put this one in your calculation, right? So because this is 9.2 times 10 to the negative 5, it's scientific notation that together put on the bottom. So you need to add the brackets. In this case, you need to do 2.8 times 10 to the negative 7 exponent multiply 4.5 divided by bracket. You have 9.2 times 10 to the exponent negative 5, close bracket. So that's you got wrong, right answer. Actually, the answer is 0.0137. 3 decimal place. This is right. That's you need to be careful. The other way to protect you not to get any mistake, you can do EXP button. You do this one, you do 2.8 EXP, which is -7, you don't need to put bracket, right? And multiply 4.5 and divide the 9.2 exponent -5. And this one is working because the calculate, the memorized this one is together. This one cannot be separate. But this one multiply 10 to the -5, they can separate in two parts, 9.2 multiply this one. For using EXP button, 9.2 E -5 is together, right? And also this way is much faster. Let me show you. 2.8 exponent -7 multiply 4.5 divided by 9.2 exponent -5 equals 0.0137. Okay, the second trouble. And the third trouble is similar, but I feel like very important to show. And when you do square root, when you're solving quadratic equation using formula or you square root, for example, you do square root b squared minus 4ac and equal if b equals 3, let's say make simple, and the a equals 1, c equals 2, let's say this one. Then put the square root 3 squared minus 4 times 1 times 2, right? If we use hand calculate manually, we got the answer is 9 minus 8 equals square root of 1 equals 1. But using calculate, when you do this job, you have square root, you put the square root first, you have 3 squared minus 4 times 1 times 2, right? You say 3 squared minus 4 times 1 times 2. Obviously you get 1, but calculator gives you -5, right? Which is ridiculous, right? Because the reason is after square root you never get a negative. After square root you always get a positive. If inside the square root is negative, they won't work. It will got the math error, right? Obviously, where you make mistake, the reason is one is you didn't put a bracket. The other is too early put a square root. The reason is if you do this way, square root, when you type in this one, you put the bracket at the very beginning. You say 3 squared minus 4 times 1 times 2 and close bracket. That gives you the correct answer. Let me show you. So if you put square root, put bracket, and 3 squared minus 4 times 1 times 2, close bracket. That means all this inside the bracket under square root. That's you got the correct answer, right? Correct if you put bracket. But you may say, I don't know because this one is don't have any bracket. Why I need to put bracket? That is to calculate. You need to put bracket. Otherwise, they do square root of 3 square first, then minus 4 times 1 times 2, right? Yeah, they do this way. The other way, sometimes you forget to put bracket, you have problem But the other way you can do is don't put the square root first. You first do 3 squared minus 4 times 1 times 2. You got this way. You got the 3 squared minus 4 times 1 times 2. Got this answer. After this one, then you got the square root. Then you square root your answer, which is 1, and equals 1. You can do this, right? And yeah. And one thing is you can put the bracket, everything. The other one, you calculate square root inside. Then you get the square root. You got the answer. You square root the answer. You will not make any mistakes. Okay. The fourth one. When you do some math or some algebra or some chemistry work, if you're given the one solution, the pH value, for example, you're given is 5.3. You're looking for the concentration. What is concentration of this solution in moles, molality? So you use, because you can see the pH value is formula is negative logarithm the concentration in molality, right? Molality. And now you're given the pH value, you're looking for the molality. So you need to write the molality has to be equal to the opposite operation of logarithm is exponent. You write 10 to the exponent negative 5.3, because you got pH value, you put the negative in front of the logarithm, then you find the molality, and you put the negative back, which is to the exponent. When you perform this one, you calculate, you do use logarithm, the button shift 10 to the x. That button is here. You have this button. You have log and the 10x. So you go to shift and log, which is 10. But you used to use this button, so you put 10 to this one. So you go to shift and the logarithm with 10 to the x. You put this button, you put the negative 5.3. You put negative 5.3. You got, wait a second, this one is, you put the second function, shift 10, go to this button, you put the negative 5.3. You got the syntax error. The problem is this button working with shift log button 10x. You don't need to put this one. You don't need to put this one. You don't need to go to this one. This is wrong. You only do shift log, then negative 5.3. That's it. So you go to shift log, which is 10. The x, let you enter x. You don't need to put this button. You just enter negative 5.3. They gave you answer, which is 5.01 times 10 to the negative 6 exponent molality. So that's what. The same thing with ln. The natural logarithm, same thing. When you perform, for example, you perform e to the 2.3 exponent, the answer, you go to shift log, which is ex. you just enter 2.3. And this is already setting on the exponent. You got 9.97. If you go to Shift long, you put the exponent button, go to 2.3, it gives you syntax error. That's you need to know. Okay, I just give you some example for troubleshooting. So again, most important when you start working with your calculator, every time you need to check, you need to reset your calculator. Okay, and you need to put the bracket sometimes on the bottom fraction. Okay, thank you. Presented by Wise Guys.